Our federal government has spent 4 years and over $200 million searching for the remains of Indigenous children in supposed mass graves, the results of which will shock nobody. A Thunder Bay blogger has been ordered by the Ontario Superior Court of Injustice to pay fines to a drag queen in a defamation lawsuit. The federal government has dropped COVID quarantine charges against an Amish group in Sarnia, Ontario. The Canadian Supreme Court has decided to remove its X account for reasons that will shock nobody. Our goal, as always, is to bring you news, culture, and politics from a distinctly Christian, conservative, and Canadian perspective. It's March 3rd. I'm Andrew DeBartolo. This is Liberty Dispatch News Brief.
Hi, this is Craig Klein, founder of SalesNexus. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you entrepreneurs and business owners in the audience. You are the backbone of America. Our entire society depends on the products and services you provide, the jobs you provide, and all of the ways you and your team impact our communities. We at SalesNexus just want to say thank you for the long nights, the sacrifices, and the plain old hard work. You're why we started SalesNexus, to help you be successful. If we can help you with marketing and sales, please get in touch. You can try SalesNexus free for 30 days at salesnexus.com.
If you feel that big government and banks are too involved in your finances, Bitcoin is the solution for you. Bitcoin is the antithesis of central bank digital currencies. It's decentralized digital cash that puts you in full control of your money. With Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about government interference or banks censoring you in any way. As a freedom advocate, you know the importance of individual liberty and responsibility. Bitcoin is the ultimate expression of those values, enabling you to take control of your financial destiny and make transactions that align with your beliefs. BullBitcoin is the perfect place to buy and sell Bitcoin. Don't wait any longer to take control of your money. Sign up today at mission.bullbitcoin.com/dispatch. Again, that's mission.bullbitcoin.com/dispatch. If you remember, in 2021, it was reported that the bodies of hundreds of Indigenous children were discovered in mass grave sites all over Canada. Canada Day 2021 was cancelled. The Orange Shirt campaign began. Every child matters except the preborn ones. And all manner of narrative crafting ensued. Well, after 4 years of looking into it and roughly $216 million, not a single body has been found. Zero. Which is the same amount of credibility both our legacy media and the federal government have after this fiasco. This is from the Daily Wire. Quote, "The remains were reportedly discovered by anthropologist Sarah Beaulieu, who used ground-penetrating radar to find the remains allegedly buried on the grounds sometime between 1890 and 1978 while the Kamloops Indian Residential School operated. The discovery was reported by Chief Roseanne Casimir of the Tecumloops de Secwepemc First Nation, who said in a statement in May 2021 that, given the size of the school, with up to 500 students registered and attending at any one time, we understand that this confirmed loss affects First Nations communities across British Columbia and beyond. But the preliminary report on the remains was based on depressions and abnormalities in the soil of an apple orchard near the school, not on exhumed remains." Close quote. This is why you can essentially no longer trust anything that is said by our elected officials or the legacy media. They ran with a complete fabrication in order to both lower Canadian pride and take the focus away from the disastrous COVID policies and mandates that were ruining lives. Finally, after 4 years of a raging inferno of a dumpster fire, the federal government has decided to pull funding from various groups pushing this mass grave hoax. 4 years too late. A recent story from the Canadian Pravda Corporation, formerly known as the CBC, reveals that while we must be precise with our accusations and not throw them around frivolously, which is wrong, it looks like in the days ahead, speaking the truth about sexual deviance can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is a deeply troubling story. Quote, A blogger in Thunder Bay, Ontario, has been ordered by Ontario's Superior Court of Justice to pay $380,000 in damages after making Facebook posts in 2022 accusing drag performers of grooming children. The cases relate to Facebook posts made in September 2022 and December 2022 by blogger Brian Webster. The first post references CBC News coverage of an upcoming drag event in Dryden, which was then canceled following an unfounded prank call. Sharing screenshots of the news story, Webster called the drag queens and king involved in the event groomers. In the December 2022 post, Webster referenced an upcoming drag storytime event in Thunder Bay and referred to local drag queens who have been criminally charged with child pornography. No such charges were laid. In her decision, Pierce describes Webster's behavior as that of a common bully, close quote. While we obviously should not support some of the actions of Webster, the truth is, given the history of drag culture and the target audience, these events are about desensitizing children to drag and normalizing what is by nature a sexualization, as evident by the clothing, makeup, and dancing. What else would you call making children more open to sexual sins and less repulsed by sexual sins than grooming them to accept and engage in sexual sins? The truth is proving to be quite costly. Friends, it's hard to find energy or electrolyte drinks, protein shakes, or anti-inflammatories that enhance your workout without defeating their point, as they fill you with sugar, chemicals, fillers, and food dyes. That's why you need to try PLEXUS supplements with the highest quality all-natural ingredients that not only avoid the garbage but support your gut. Whether flushing toxins or restoring nutrients, you will see a tangible difference. If you're looking to enhance your health, email healthandliberty@proton.me. Our friends will be happy to help you decide whether this is a good fit for you and hook you up with a discount. Again, email healthandliberty@proton.me. Do you remember ArriveCan, the status tracking software that was not only used to grant you easy access to and from Canada, it also tracked your location? I personally refused to use ArriveCan when I traveled in 2022, and as a result, I got a $6,000 ticket, which the Democracy Fund helped me fight in court. Apparently, the state went after an Amish group who, without a mobile phone or computer, wasn't able to fill out the Social Credit Lite app. Those charges have been dropped. This is from Rebel News. Quote, good news regarding those Amish folk who were slapped with a $6,000 fine for not having the ArriveCan app on their cell phones during the COVID-19 pandemic, which they don't have. The Democracy Fund has secured a pivotal victory for Ontario's Amish community, with the Crown withdrawing all Quarantine Act tickets against a group of Grey County Amish clients. The decision to withdraw the Sarnia tickets concludes nearly 6 months of legal efforts, culminating in successful negotiations between TDF lawyers and Crown prosecutors. Withdrawing the tickets in Lambton County Court, the Crown cited no reasonable prospect of conviction. Senior litigation counsel Adam Blake Gallipeau represented the Amish families in court. In the final analysis, the irony is both profound and perverse. Some 2 centuries ago, the Amish immigrated to Ontario before the province was even known as Ontario. The Amish were fleeing religious persecution in Europe. Despicable. Close quote. Despicable indeed. Remember, this whole thing is far from over. COVID and ArriveCan, they were just the beta tests. They were the finger in the water to see how hot it is, seeing how much Canadians would bend and comply. And what did the state find out? That Canadians will bend and comply, which means more difficult and darker days still lie ahead in Canada. Finally, the Supreme Court of Canada, the highest judicial body in the land and supposed defender of free speech and constitutional rights, has decided that X, a social media platform that now prides itself on free speech and no censorship, is no longer worthy to host the Supreme Court of Canada account, which is a delicious irony chocolate cake. Quote, the Supreme Court of Canada announced that it would be leaving the social media platform X and would only release further communications on other platforms. The court's 45,000 followers were left with a polite wave goodbye and an invitation to follow its updates elsewhere. In its brief farewell post, the court stated it would shift its communication efforts to other platforms, inviting the public to follow its updates on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. They said, "Dear subscribers, moving forward, we will be focusing our communication efforts on other platforms. We invite you to follow us on our LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube accounts to continue receiving our updates," the post read. Edmonton lawyer Eva Chipuik wrote in criticism of the decision, quote, "This is incredibly disappointing and very telling," close quote. When our Supreme Court doesn't like a social media platform that supports free speech just because it's not owned and run by a leftist wokey, that spells trouble for the judicial and legal future of Canada. But we're not surprised by this. We must commit ourselves to training our children apart from state-funded Marxist indoctrination centers, and we must be driven by a desire to bring about cultural change in Canada through the power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Well, there you have it, friends. You are all up to date. Make sure to email healthandliberty@proton.me to find amazing products to enhance your health. Head over to mission.bullbitcoin.com/dispatch to take control of your finances today. And finally, head over to ldcanada.substack.com, where you can subscribe to our mailing list and support the show. Until next time, Galatians 5:1.